Hello, I'm Caroline. We know each other, but can you just tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself and just kind of what you're interested in?
Hi guys, my name is Anisa Archer. I'm a future creative at Derby Theatre. I'm also a Year 13 student and a creative writer, a young poet, and recently a self-published author as well.
That's amazing. So you've already done like loads. What tell us a bit more about the stuff that you've done, like your the writing that you've done whilst you've been in lockdown and stuff.
I think even before lockdown, I've just been writing, but definitely having that long period of time to be at home definitely gave me more of an opportunity to write. Um, I have a Instagram account just dedicated to my poems and my work. And then the book that I recently published during lockdown, Here Is My Heart, is just a collection of some of those poems and more from over the years, and ones that I wrote during lockdown and put into like a 5 chapter book, which I'm really, really proud of.
That's amazing. That's really fantastic. And is that something, where did that in sort of, when did it start and where's it been like nurtured? Have you done stuff in school or how, yeah, just how did it all start?
My love for writing and poetry started in like year 3, and it was a literacy test we had to do, and it was all based on a story. We got given like a motive, and I just ran with it. And my teacher came back and was like, "This is actually really, really good. Like, this is a talent." I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And from then, I've just picked it up, and I've always loved reading and stories and creating my own storylines and my own characters. And so I just fell in love with the world of creative writing and poetry, and it became my stress reliever and my hobby and just a really huge passion and love. And writing a book and publishing a book has always been a dream from that young age. So being able to do it during such a strange and crazy time is really an accomplishment for me.
So how did you actually do that? How did you
Um,
publish it?
all through a beautiful website called Blurb. A family friend of ours has her own business and uses Blurb to create her own books that she sells. And so when I told her about my plan, she was like, "Okay, well, you need to use this." And it was so easy to use. Like even the layouts of how I wanted to lay out the poems in the book, it just came so easy to me and naturally to me. I like spent days and hours. I don't think I slept for like 3 days straight because I was just so focused on perfecting this. Um, so yeah, it's all done through Blurb.
That sounds brilliant. Well done. And do you think it's important for young people to hear from, in your case, your teacher, that they've got that talent? Did it make it click for you then, go, oh, I can do this?
I think it's so important, even if you're not a writer, even if you're not a poet, in any creative thing, any hobby interest you have and you really love it and you have that desire to achieve with it and craft your art and make your talent even better. Hearing that encouragement and hearing that your gift is amazing, you should pursue this, you should do this. Hearing that encouragement and those words can really make a big difference in young people who have that passion for something they really love.
And do you get enough outlet for that in school? Because I know when I was at primary school, we did a lot of creative writing, and then secondary school still did quite a lot. But do you think the curriculum has still got space for that creative writing in it at the minute?
I think I think in anything, there's always room for an improvement. And I do agree, back in primary school, creative writing was very strong. And I think that's why my passion for it grew and grew and grew, because I was just always doing it. And when I got to secondary school and learned that it's only like a part of the English language um, section and course you do, it kind of disheartened me, but it didn't dishearten me to the point that I was thought, okay, well, I'm done with it now. But I definitely think there should be room throughout education for those outlets for young people and students and pupils to write, even if it's about nothing, if there's a motive given, just having that chance to explore with characters and storylines and different places and scenes, that I think is really powerful.
So I'm talking to Anisa Archer about her writing, and we've just heard about kind of all the work that she's done in writing through the school and through her passion and through her self-published work. What's kind of brought you into theatre and to Derby Theatre in particular?
My dance teacher brought me to Derby Theatre, and it was last year, like around Mayish time, and she came with like this email about the This Is Derby event that Derby Theatre was putting on. And she said, you know, I know you're not really a dancer, but this event is about, you know, acting and music and writing, and I know writing is your strong point. And so I thought, oh, okay, thanks. You know, I wasn't in like May time for year 11 students. It's definitely a GCSE kind of period, so my head wasn't in the creative mindset. But then, like the night before the deadline, I thought, no, I have to do this because I will regret it. And I'm so glad I did it, because doing that event and spending time with people who have just as much love and passion for the theatre and creative arts as me made me like believe, okay, I have a pathway to get to do stuff I love, and with people that have that same love and passion for it. And that's how I got into Derby Theatre, and I refuse to leave them now. You have me for life, guys.
We don't want you to leave. And tell us a little bit about the kinds of things that you've been doing with Derby Theatre.
I did the This Is Derby event last year, and then through Derby Theatre I was able to join the youth theatre group that they had at the time, which was a big thing for me, because for years I'd been trying to get into one, and for like financial barriers it just wasn't possible for me and my background and my family kind of income stuff. So when I was able to be given the chance, I like grabbed it with both hands. And then from there I went on to then joining the Future Creatives team, and we did some more projects on the Reimagine 2020. During this lockdown, I did the Reimagine 2020 writing workshop, and then was able to create some amazing pieces, and be able to see them and watch them socially distanced in the museum. And then I also...
Glad you added that bit in, Anisa. It's like socially distanced. Well done.
And then I also was honoured to take part in Futures Unlocked and interview Tim Crouch, which was a really big thing for me. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to do that. And now I'm currently working with them on the Homegirl production that we're, fingers crossed, hopefully going to be able to put on next year.
Yeah, so you're supporting the writing on that. So it's adapting Alex Wheatl's book, isn't it, into a script for stage, which, as you say, yeah, fingers crossed we'll actually be able to put on the stage. So you've been able to kind of pursue a bit of performing, but also a bit of writing as well, which you know, I suppose we're really lucky and grateful that we've got these projects. So the Reimagine project that you've mentioned has been a really big, important step for us to be able to diversify and work with different people through different schools, etc. But yeah, I think that's part of our aim, is to meet new people and work with new people. But I don't think we always get that right, and so I'm just interested in, because part of this day, the People's Theatre, is we're thinking about the question of like who theatre is for. So I don't know, it's an odd question, because the answer is it's for everyone, but who do you think it's for, and who do you think we reach, and perhaps who do you think we don't reach?
If someone was to ask me that question a few years ago, I would have said like the theatre is for people with money. It's for people who can afford that luxury of going and seeing pieces performed on stage and just be left in absolute awe of how amazing the creative arts is. I wouldn't have said theatre is for, you know, working class people like me, working class young people and older people who don't always get that luxury. But now being able to be a part of Derby Theatre and be a part of the amazing work they do, theatre is for everyone, and it is those factors and barriers that affect how we can get into that, how we can go and see pieces of drama on stage and experience that sense of awe and wow, that was amazing. So yeah, it's definitely the factors. This is for everyone, and it should be available across the boards for everyone. I would definitely say financially that finances can be a huge barrier. Like I said, I'm from a working class family. Money doesn't grow on trees for us. My parents work really hard to try and give us as our kids a luxury. And sometimes we would make those trips to the theatre and it would be like a once a year adventure for us, and we would cherish those. And then as time got on and as just life hit and bills had to be paid and, you know, things had to be prioritized, that luxury of us going to see like Charlotte's Web, I remember seeing that for the first time and I was like, oh my days, this is amazing. They had to come to a halt because they just weren't that priority. For others, it may be accessibility. So like the BSL not having the correct equipment and facilities for people with disabilities to go and enjoy that luxury can also be a really tough barrier that some theatres don't always get right. But I believe they are always improving and trying to make it accessible for everyone. And yeah, I think for me, those are probably like the big barriers that kind of prevent people from having that experience of theatre. But there are definitely other barriers that people experience, and you know,
yeah, thank you. And in terms of those barriers, there's obviously some real practical things there around finance and so on. Sometimes I feel like we're not always getting our message out to people as well. So let's say we have got a free opportunity. What do you think is like stopping us getting our message out to different communities within the city? It might, you know, maybe it may be that they don't know about us, but I know that I've heard recently that some people, some young people from around the city who are like, oh yeah, I'd like to come to Derby Theatre, but I don't really know how I do that. So I think sometimes it's our message isn't getting out there. Have you got any thoughts about how we can make sure our message is right, I suppose?
I think in a time that we live in, technology is such a big, important thing for us, and pretty much everyone, I know there may be some exceptions, but pretty much everyone has like social media, a phone, you know, access to Google and Instagram and Snapchat and all these different platforms. And especially for young people, they are very heavy influence platforms that we use on a daily basis. And I think Derby Theatre and other theatres should have quite a strong online presence, being able to showcase and show what they have on, the different opportunities they have for young people to take part in. I know that is really, really important. Also, in terms of like getting it out to school kids, I think it's really important that theatres have that connection with schools all across. I mean, for Derby Theatre, all across Derby, it should be important. I will always thank my dance teacher for showing me and sending me that email for this Derby, because if she didn't, I don't think I would be able to have this interview with you or know you and all the other amazing people who work with and for Derby Theatre. So I think it's really important for you know, drama teachers and music teachers and dance teachers and art teachers in schools to have that close connection as well with theatres, so then their students know, look, education is great and academic studies are great, but you know, take a break, go and see some theatre, go and be a part of something much bigger than just maths and English and science. You know, the world is full of so much beauty, so much creativity that us young people don't get to see. And we go to school like 5 days a week. We see the same teachers pretty much every day, Monday to Friday. 8 a.m. till 3 or whenever your school finishes. And we have that relationship and contact with those teachers who can give us that that key to open the door to theatre. So I think that's also a really good thing to have, that connection with schools as well.
Brilliant, thank you. That's really helpful. So it's like building those relationships, and that's it's been really different and varied during this time as well. So some teachers have kind of gone, yeah, we really want more digital stuff and online stuff, because we know now that we can teach in that way, and we do too. We've learned loads during this lockdown period of working more directly with young people as well, albeit on Zoom, but not, not always going into a school classroom, but actually getting to know you, like Reimagine 2020.
Yeah.
Weekly sessions. So I think that's a really interesting thought, that we build those relationships with the teachers, and make sure that it's seen as valuable, because I think you're right, sometimes the kind of core subjects are forefronted, and it's about, well, what do you think the message is for us to kind of give to those teachers? What is the value? What are the sort of skills that you think young people can get out of being involved in theatre?
I think there are so many valuable skills that I've gained by joining theatre and being involved in theatre activities and experiences, and you gain confidence and a value of self and importance, and I think that's really important for young people, especially because we're going through those times where we're not too sure about who we are as, like, in terms of identity, and theatre can be that source that kind of gives you that, okay, well, maybe this is what I'm good at, maybe I can do this, and this is a part of who I am. You gain those communication skills with others, and not always through talking, but through theatre, through music and dance and physical theatre, and all those different types of things you can do, as well as gaining people skills and sociable skills, meeting people with the same interests, building friendships that will last a lifetime. I think it's really important to involve that and get that message across, that, like I said, your life won't always revolve around those core subjects in school, and there are other things out there that can bring you joy and can make you feel good about yourself, and I think theatre is one of those things that can bring that thing for a young person out there.
Brilliant, thank you. And I guess as well, it's about employability too at that other end, and you talked about pathways and realizing that actually this is something that you could do as a job, and not everybody's going to want to work in the arts, but there's also the employability, sort of flexible transferable skills, I suppose, that you get from somebody like yourself who's just so brilliant at communicating and working with others, and all of those things that employers are definitely looking for, and that creative spark, of course, which you've got in spades. So well, I think that's probably the end of my questions, unless you've got anything else to add about kind of looking into the future, because this event today has been about looking at our history, and then looking forward to the future. And we're really excited about Homegirl for next year. And we've got Alex Wheatle, the author's story, the film by Steve McQueen, on the telly in a couple of weeks. So we'll be looking out for that. It's a bit of a flag. Is there anything else that you think that as we look to the future of theatre, we should just be thinking about?
I think we should be thinking about making it known that there are jobs in the theatre, that there are jobs which can allow you to be creative and allow you to create new things for future generations to see. Not many young people get the chance to speak and see with people who are in the theatre industry, who have that as a daily profession. And so it can cause maybe a disheartening self-doubt that they will never be able to be like that and have that career. But in all honesty, it's possible for anyone if you just put your mind to it and have that self-confidence in yourself that you can do it and you will make it. I think that's also just really important for young people to know.
Thank you. And I guess for them to see their stories and themselves reflected in the work that we do. Yeah, which you're totally helping us to achieve. So thank you. Thank you very much. And I'll see you soon, Anisa. Bye.